Can I hug you? The voice cut through the rain like a knife. Caleb Hargrove didn't look up. He couldn't. His hands covered his face. His shoulders shook. The cold concrete curb in downtown San Francisco felt like the only solid thing left in his world. It was 11:47 p.m. 24 hours ago, he owned everything. A $2 billion tech empire, a mansion in Palo Alto, private jets, power that made senators return his calls within minutes. Now? Nothing. The fraud scandal broke that morning. Federal agents stormed his office at 9 a.m. Cameras flashed. Investors screamed. His company's stock crashed so hard trading got halted twice. By noon, his wife Lillian's lawyer called. Divorce papers. She'd been planning it for months, secretly backing his biggest competitor while sleeping in his bed. By 3 p.m., his daughter Vivian sent one text. "I'm ashamed to be your daughter." By 6 p.m., the charges were filed. Wire fraud, securities fraud, conspiracy. By 9 p.m., his lawyer told him the truth. "Caleb, you're going to prison. Tomorrow morning, you turn yourself in." So he walked, alone, through the foggy San Francisco streets, past the glittering restaurants where he used to close deals, past the luxury stores where he never checked price tags. And he ended up here, sitting on a curb, wetsuit clinging to his skin, rain mixing with tears. Then those footsteps, slow, bare feet slapping wet pavement. "Can I hug you?" Caleb finally looked up. A boy, maybe 7 years old, thin jacket 3 sizes too big, cracked lips, dirt smudged on his cheeks. But his eyes, those eyes were too old, too knowing. "What?" Caleb's voice cracked. "My name's Eli Navarro," the boy said. "Can I hug you?" Caleb stared. His brain couldn't process it. A homeless kid, asking to hug him, a billionaire who just lost everything. "Why?" Caleb whispered. "Because you're crying," Eli said simply, "and nobody should cry alone." Something inside Caleb broke wider. Because Eli was right. All day, lawyers, agents, reporters, his own wife's attorney, everyone had touched him, grabbed him, handcuffed him, shoved papers at him. But nobody had actually touched him with kindness. "I don't..." Caleb started, then stopped. What was he supposed to say? That he didn't deserve it? That he was a fraud? That tomorrow he'd be in a cell? Eli stepped closer. His bare feet made no sound now. "Why are you crying?" The question was so direct, so innocent, so impossible to dodge. "I lost everything," Caleb said. His voice barely worked. "Everything I built, everything I had, it's all gone." Eli tilted his head, studied him like a puzzle. Then he said something that made Caleb's breath stop. "Then you didn't lose everything." Caleb blinked. "What?" "You still have your arms." Eli pointed. "You still breathe. You can still choose better tomorrow." The words hit like a punch. Choose better tomorrow. This kid, this homeless kid with nothing, was telling him about choices, about tomorrow. "You don't understand," Caleb said. Anger flickered through the grief. "I'm going to prison. My family hates me. My company's destroyed. I have nothing left." Eli shook his head slowly. Then he knelt down beside Caleb on the wet curb, close enough that Caleb could see the shivers running through his small frame. "Do you have anyone?" Eli asked. "No." The word tasted like poison. "Then I know what it means to have nothing," Eli said. His voice was steady, calm, like he'd made peace with something Caleb was just discovering. "But nothing can be shared." A delivery truck rumbled past. Its headlights swept across them both, the broken billionaire and the wise child. Above them, a billboard flickered. Caleb's own face stared down from it. Yesterday's Forbes cover. Tech titan Caleb Hargrove. The future is his. Now the future was a cell. I don't know how to share nothing, Caleb admitted. His walls were crumbling. This conversation with a 7-year-old was cracking him open in ways the FBI couldn't. Eli reached into his jacket pocket, pulled out a wrinkled piece of paper, unfolded it carefully. It was a map, hand-drawn, the city streets, but marked with symbols, little stars, crosses, circles. What is that? Caleb asked. My route, Eli said. Shelters, food banks, places I help people. Caleb stared at the paper, at the careful markings, at the schedule written in a child's handwriting along the margins. This kid owned nothing, literally nothing, and he spent his days helping others survive. You help people? Caleb's voice cracked again. You're 7. 8 next month, Eli corrected. And yes, because when you have nothing, you learn what matters. The rain got heavier. Water dripped through Caleb's expensive coat, soaked into his custom shirt. He didn't care anymore. What matters? He asked. Desperate now, needing an answer from this impossible child. Eli looked right into his eyes. People, connection, being awake to what's real. 3 office cleaners walked past. Late shift. And they glanced at Caleb and kept moving. Didn't recognize him. Or didn't care. He used to be somebody. Now he was just another broken man on a curb. You can still help people, Eli said softly. Even tomorrow. Even now. Even with empty hands. Caleb's tears came harder. Because it was true. And because he'd wasted decades not knowing it. Can I still hug you? Eli asked again. This time, Caleb nodded. Eli wrapped his thin arms around the billionaire's shoulders. The hug was small but fierce, warm despite the cold, real despite everything fake in Caleb's life. And in that moment, on a rainy San Francisco street at midnight, everything changed. Not the charges, not the divorce, not the scandal, but Caleb Hargrove himself. He chose better, starting right now. If you've made it this far, you already feel it. This story is different. And real emotion, real transformation, the kind that stays with you. Here's something shocking. Only 1% of people who watch these stories actually subscribe. If you're in that other 99%, I need 2 seconds of your time. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. Why? Because what happens next with Caleb and Eli, the twists, the redemption, the moments that'll wreck you, you don't want to miss any of it. Your subscription keeps these stories coming. 1 click supports hundreds more stories that matter. Do it now. Then let's get back to Caleb's journey. The hug lasted 11 seconds. Caleb counted every one, because in those 11 seconds, something impossible happened. The weight crushing his chest, the shame, the terror, the absolute certainty that his life was over, lifted just enough to let him breathe. When Eli pulled back, Caleb's face was wet. Rain and tears mixed together. He couldn't tell which was which anymore. Thank you, Caleb whispered. Eli nodded, then sat down next to him on the curb, right there in the puddle, like it was the most natural thing in the world. You said you lost everything, Eli said. What did you lose? Caleb laughed. It came out broken, bitter. Money, my company, my family, my reputation, everything that made me, me. That's not you, Eli said simply. What? Those things aren't you. Eli picked up a small stone from the gutter, turned it over in his fingers. They're just things you had, not who you are. Caleb wanted to argue, wanted to explain that in his world, you are what you build. You are your net worth. You are your success. But the words wouldn't come, because maybe Eli was right. So then who am I? Caleb asked. The question felt dangerous, like opening a door he'd kept locked for 43 years. Eli shrugged. I don't know yet, but you can figure it out, starting now. A police car rolled past slowly. The officer inside glanced at them, kept driving. Just another homeless kid and another broken man. Nothing worth stopping for. Caleb thought about tomorrow. 6 a.m. surrender time. Federal courthouse, cameras, handcuffs. The perp walk his lawyer warned him about. I'm going to prison tomorrow, he said out loud. Testing how it sounded like death. For how long? Eli asked. Maybe 10 years, maybe more. Eli was quiet for a moment. Then, that's a lot of tomorrows. Yeah. Caleb's voice cracked. A lot of wasted tomorrows. Not wasted, Eli said. He looked at Caleb with those two old eyes. But you can still choose what they mean. How? The word came out desperate, angry. How do I choose anything from a cell? Eli stood up, stretched his thin arms. My mom's in prison, he said quietly. Caleb froze. What? Been there 3 years. Drug charges. She made bad choices. Eli's voice didn't shake, didn't break, just stated facts. But she writes me letters, tells me she's different now, that she's learning, that prison gave her time to think about who she wants to be. Where do the letters go? Caleb asked. If you're homeless, Eli finished. I pick them up at a church in the Mission District. Sister Maria keeps them for me. The pieces clicked together in Caleb's mind. This kid navigated an entire city alone, had systems, connections, survived without parents or money or anything. And Caleb, with all his billions, couldn't survive one day of loss. You're 8 years old, Caleb said. How are you? Still alive? Eli smiled a little. Because people are good. Not all of them, but enough. A memory hit Caleb hard. Last year, a homeless man had approached him outside his office building in Palo Alto. Asked for $5. Caleb had security remove him. $5. Caleb spent more than that on a single cappuccino. I've never helped anyone, Caleb admitted. The shame burned hotter than fear. Not really. Everything I did was for me, for my empire, for my ego. That was then, Eli said. What's now? Eli pulled out his map again, the hand-drawn one with all the markings. He pointed to a spot marked with a red star. This is St. Anthony's. They serve breakfast at 6 a.m. free to anyone who needs it. His finger moved. This is the shelter on Bryant Street. They take families, but they're always full. Caleb studied the map. Dozens of locations, times, notes, an entire ecosystem of survival that he never knew existed. Why are you showing me this? He asked. Because you have something I don't, Eli said. I have nothing. You have a voice people listen to. Eli folded the map carefully, put it back in his pocket. Even now, even after everything, if you talk, people hear you. Caleb thought about his social media. 4 million followers. They'd spent all day calling him a fraud, a liar, a criminal. But they were listening. What do you want me to say? Caleb asked. The truth? Eli said. About what matters. About what's real. A group of tech workers walked past. Young, and probably heading home from some startup burning midnight oil in Soma. They were laughing, talking about funding rounds and valuations. Caleb used to be them, chasing the next billion, the next acquisition, the next victory. And for what? I don't know what's real anymore, Caleb admitted. Eli sat back down, close enough that their shoulders almost touched. This is real, he said. Right now, You and me talking? That's real. That's it? Caleb's voice was hollow. That's what matters? Just talking? Connection, Eli corrected. Being awake, seeing people. Caleb closed his eyes, thought about Vivian, his daughter, 16 years old. When was the last time he really saw her, really listened, really connected? He couldn't remember. He'd been too busy building his empire. I failed her, Caleb whispered. My daughter, I failed her. Not yet, Eli said. You're still breathing, still choosing. She won't talk to me. Then write to her. From prison, tell her the truth. Tell her you're learning. Tell her you're different. Just like Eli's mom. The parallel hit Caleb like lightning. He wasn't just going to prison, he was getting a chance. A forced pause. Time to think. Time to change. Time to figure out who Caleb Hargrove actually was without the billions and the power and the lies. Will you visit me? Caleb asked suddenly. The question surprised him. In prison? Eli smiled. If they let me. They will, Caleb said. He felt something strange rising in his chest. Not hope exactly, but something close. I'll make sure they will. The rain started to slow. Dawn was maybe 5 hours away. 5 hours until surrender. 5 hours to choose what came next. Caleb stood up. His legs shook, but he stood. Show me, he said. Show you what? Your route, the shelters, the people. Caleb looked at Eli. Show me what matters. Eli's face lit up, and together they walked into the San Francisco night. The first person they met was dying. Her name was Rosa, 71 years old, sitting under a freeway overpass wrapped in a garbage bag because it was the only thing keeping the rain off. Eli walked straight to her. No hesitation. Hi, Rosa, he said gently. I brought someone. Rosa's eyes opened slowly, cloudy, tired. She looked at Caleb's expensive suit and laughed. It turned into a cough that shook her whole body. You bring me a lawyer? She rasped. Too late for that, Nino. He's not a lawyer, Eli said. He's learning. Caleb stood frozen. He'd never been this close to someone homeless before. Not really. He'd walked past hundreds, thousands, never stopped, never looked. Now he couldn't look away. Learning what? Rosa asked. Her voice was rough, worn down like old leather. Eli glanced at Caleb, waited. I don't know yet, Caleb admitted. Rosa studied him, really looked at him. Then she smiled. At least you're honest. That's more than most rich men. I'm not rich anymore, Caleb said. You're wearing a $3,000 suit, Rosa pointed out. You're rich. She was right. Even broke, even ruined, even hours from prison, he still had more than anyone here. The shame hit him again, deeper this time. Sit down, Rosa said, patted the concrete next to her. If you're learning, learn how it feels down here. Caleb hesitated, then sat. The ground was cold, wet, disgusting. Rosa laughed at his face. Welcome to my penthouse. How long have you been out here? Caleb asked. 4 years, since my daughter kicked me out. Rosa's eyes went distant. Said I was too much trouble, too expensive, too broken. I'm sorry, Caleb said. The words felt useless. Don't be sorry, Rosa said. Be better. Eli sat on Rosa's other side, pulled out a protein bar from his jacket, broke it in half, gave Rosa the bigger piece. She took it with shaking hands. You're a good boy, Eli. You need to go to the hospital, Eli said quietly. Your cough is worse. Hospitals don't want people like me, Rosa said. No insurance, no money, no family to sign papers. Caleb's mind raced. He still had connections. Maybe. His lawyer might still take a call. There had to be something. I can help, Caleb said suddenly. I can make calls, get you admitted, get you treated. Rosa turned to him. Her expression was strange, not grateful, almost sad. Why? She asked. Because you need help. People need help every day, Rosa said. You walk past them. Everyone does. Why now? Why me? The question cut straight through him. Why now? Because he was broken too. Because Eli had cracked him open. Because he had 5 hours left before his life ended, and he needed to do something that mattered. Because I wasted my whole life not helping, Caleb said. His voice shook. And I can't waste any more time. Rosa was quiet for a long moment. Then she reached out, touched his hand with her cold fingers. Then help, she said. But not just me. Help all of us. How? Caleb asked desperately. I'm going to prison tomorrow, and I have nothing left. You have your voice, Rosa said. Same thing Eli had said. You have your story. You have whatever time you have left. A man shuffled past. Younger, maybe 30. Pushing a shopping cart full of cans, he nodded at Eli. Kept moving. That's Marcus, Eli said. He used to be a teacher in New York. Then his wife died and he couldn't afford rent anymore. Another woman appeared from the shadows. Older, dragging a suitcase with a broken wheel. That's Linda, Eli continued. She worked at a hospital in Miami for 20 years. Then she got sick and lost her job. Lost everything. Caleb's chest tightened. These weren't just homeless people. They were teachers, workers, humans with whole lives that fell apart, just like his was falling apart. How many people live out here? Caleb asked. In San Francisco? Thousands, Eli said. In California? Hundreds of thousands. In America? He shrugged. Too many. The numbers staggered Caleb. He'd known homelessness existed, obviously. But knowing and seeing were different things. What happened to you? Rosa asked. How'd a man in a $3,000 suit end up sitting under a freeway at midnight? Caleb told her. Everything. The fraud, the scandal, the divorce, the prison sentence. It poured out of him like poison. When he finished, Rosa nodded slowly. So you stole, she said bluntly. It's complicated. You stole, Rosa repeated. From investors, from people who trusted you. You stole. Caleb wanted to defend himself, explain the complexity, the pressure, the way business worked at that level. But she was right. He stole. Yes, he whispered. And now you're sorry, Rosa said. What, yes? Because you got caught, she said. Or because it was wrong? The question hung in the air like smoke. Caleb thought about it, really thought. Both, he admitted. I'm sorry I got caught, and I'm sorry I did it. I don't know which one I feel more. Rosa smiled. Now that's honest. That's real. Eli stood up, checked his watch, a cheap plastic thing that barely worked. We need to keep moving, he said. St. Anthony's opens in 4 hours. We should be there. Why? Caleb asked. Because that's where you'll see what helping really looks like, Eli said. Rosa grabbed Caleb's arm before he could stand. Her grip was surprisingly strong. Listen to me, she said. Her eyes were clear now, sharp. You're going to prison, fine. You deserve it. But don't waste it. You don't spend 10 years feeling sorry for yourself. Then what do I do? Caleb asked. Figure out who you are without the money, Rosa said. Without the power, without the lies. Figure out who Caleb Hargrove actually is, and then become that person. She let go of his arm, settled back against the concrete wall. Will I see you again? Caleb asked. Rosa shrugged. If I'm still breathing? Eli knelt down, hugged Rosa gently. She kissed his forehead. "Take care of him, Niño," she whispered. "He needs you." "I know," Eli said. They walked away, left Rosa under the freeway with her garbage bag and her protein bar and her fading breath. Caleb looked back once. She was already asleep. Or maybe not asleep. He didn't know which scared him more. "Come on," Eli said. "There's more to see." And Caleb followed. Because what else could he do? His old life was over. His new life was just beginning. And he had 4 hours left to figure out what that meant. The shelter smelled like sweat and desperation. St. Anthony's, 4:47 a.m. The line already stretched around the block. 50 people, maybe more. Waiting for the doors to open at 6 a.m. Caleb had never seen anything like it. Families with small children, old men leaning on canes, women clutching plastic bags with everything they owned, veterans with hollow eyes, kids Eli's age standing alone. "This is every morning," Eli said quietly. "Every single morning." Caleb's throat closed up. He'd driven past this building 100 times, never stopped, never looked, never knew. "Where do we go?" Caleb asked. "We wait," Eli said. Then he walked to the back of the line. Caleb followed. The people around them stared. His suit stood out like blood on snow. Some faces showed anger, others showed nothing at all. A man in front of them turned around, 40-something, scarred face, arms covered in faded tattoos. "You lost?" he asked Caleb. Not friendly. "No," Caleb said. "Then what are you doing here?" Good question. What was he doing here? Slumming? Performing some last-minute charity before prison? Trying to feel better about himself? "Learning," Caleb said. Same answer he'd given Rosa. The man snorted. "Learning what? How the other half lives? How to feel good about yourself?" "No," Caleb said. "Learning what I should have known my whole life." The man studied him, then nodded. "At least you admit it." He turned back around. Conversation over. Eli tugged Caleb's sleeve, pointed to a woman near the front. She was holding a baby, maybe 6 months old, and the baby wasn't crying, just staring. Too quiet. "That's Maria," Eli whispered. "From Los Angeles. Came here because she heard San Francisco had better shelters. But they're all full. She's been sleeping in her car for 3 weeks." "She has a baby," Caleb said, stating the obvious because his brain couldn't process it. "I know," Eli said. "Where's the father?" "Gone. Left when the baby was born. She lost her job because she had no child care. Lost her apartment because she lost her job. Now she's here." The dominoes. Caleb understood dominoes. One thing falls, everything falls. That's what happened to him. That's what happened to Maria. That's what happened to everyone in this line. "How old are you, really?" Caleb asked Eli suddenly. 8 next month, Eli said. "I told you." "No," Caleb said. "I mean, how do you know all this? How do you know everyone's story?" Eli shrugged. "I ask, I listen. Most people want to tell their story. They just need someone to hear it." Simple, obvious. But Caleb had never done it, not once in 43 years. The doors opened at exactly 6 a.m. The line moved slowly. Orderly. Everyone knew the system. Take a tray, get your food, sit down, eat, leave. Caleb and Eli got their trays. Oatmeal, a banana, coffee that looked like mud. They sat at a long table, surrounded by strangers who weren't strangers to each other. Caleb took a bite of oatmeal. It was lukewarm, bland. But the people around him ate like it was the best meal they'd ever had. Because maybe it was. Maybe this was the only meal they'd have today. "You gonna eat that banana?" a voice asked. Caleb looked up. A teenage girl. 16, 17 maybe. Thin. Too thin. "Take it," Caleb said. Pushed it across the table. She grabbed it fast, like someone might steal it. "Thanks." "What's your name?" Caleb asked. "Why?" Suspicious. "Just asking." She hesitated. Then, "Jamie." "Where are you from, Jamie?" "Does it matter?" "Maybe," Caleb said. Jamie peeled the banana, took a bite, closed her eyes like it was the best thing she'd ever tasted. "Texas," she said finally. "Austin. Came here because—" She stopped, shook her head. "Doesn't matter why." But Eli leaned forward. "You can tell us." Something about Eli made people trust him, made them open up. Jamie looked at him, then at Caleb, then down at her banana. "My dad kicked me out," she said quietly. "When I told him I was pregnant, said I was a disgrace, a mistake, that I ruined everything." Caleb's heart cracked. "Oh, where's the baby now?" "Gone." One word, flat, dead. "Miscarried 2 months ago. But I can't go back. He won't let me. So I'm here." She finished the banana, stood up, walked away before Caleb could say anything. What could he say? Sorry? That's terrible. You deserve better. All true, all useless. "This happens every day," Eli said. "Every single day. Different people, same stories." Caleb looked around the room. Hundreds of people. Hundreds of stories. Hundreds of lives that fell apart. And he'd never cared, never looked, never helped. A man sat down next to them, older, white beard, kind eyes. "You're new," he said to Caleb. "Yes." "First time at St. Anthony's?" "Yes." The man smiled. "It shows. You look scared." "I am," Caleb admitted. "Don't be," the man said. "We're all just people. Same as you." "I'm not sure I'm the same," Caleb said. "Why? Because you have money?" The man laughed. "Money doesn't make you different. Just makes you lucky. For now." For now. Those 2 words hit hard. "I'm going to prison today," Caleb said. Don't know why he said it. Maybe he needed to tell someone. Maybe he needed it to be real. The man nodded. "How long?" "Maybe 10 years. That's rough." The man took a sip of his coffee. "What did you do?" "Fraud. Stole from investors." "Did you?" the man asked. "Did I what?" "Steal. Or did you get caught in a system that rewards stealing as long as you call it something else?" Caleb blinked. Both. Maybe. I don't know." The man smiled. "At least you're thinking about it. Most people never do." "Were you in prison?" Caleb asked. 20 years, the man said casually. "Got out 5 years ago. Couldn't find work. Couldn't find housing. Now I'm here." "What did you do?" Caleb asked. "If you don't mind." "Armed robbery," the man said. "I was young, stupid, desperate, made a bad choice, paid for it. But the payment never stops, even after you're out." Caleb felt sick. This man served his time, paid his debt, and society still threw him away. "What's your name?" Caleb asked. "Raymond." "I'm Caleb." They shook hands. Raymond's grip was firm, strong. "You'll survive prison, Caleb," Raymond said. "But here's the real question. Who will you be when you get out?" Same question Rosa asked, different words. "Who will you be?" "I don't know," Caleb whispered. "Then figure it out," Raymond said. "You've got 10 years. Use them." He stood up, took his tray, walked away. Eli looked at Caleb. "You okay?" "No," Caleb said honestly. "I'm not okay. I'm terrified. I'm ashamed. His phone buzzed. He'd forgotten he still had it. Pulled it out. A text from his lawyer. Surrender time moved up. 8 a.m. Be at the courthouse in 90 minutes. 90 minutes. That's all he had left. Caleb stood up fast. His chair scraped the floor. People looked. I have to go, he said to Eli, voice shaking. I have to. Not yet, Eli said calmly. There's one more person you need to meet. Eli, I don't have time. You have time, Eli said. Trust me. And somehow, impossibly, Caleb did. He trusted an 8-year-old homeless boy more than he'd ever trusted anyone in his life. Okay, Caleb said. One more person. Eli smiled. Follow me. The person was a mirror, not literally, but close enough. Eli led Caleb through the back door of St. Anthony's, down an alley, and into a courtyard behind the building where a few people sat on benches, smoking, talking, existing. One man sat alone, tailored jacket, designer jeans, clean-shaven. He looked like he belonged in a boardroom, not here. That's Daniel, Eli said. He was you, 2 years ago. Caleb stopped walking. What? Tech CEO, Stanford grad, worth $400 million. Eli's voice was matter of fact. Then he lost it all. Prison, divorce, everything. Just like you. Caleb's legs felt weak. Why is he here? Because he got out 6 months ago, and this is where he ended up. No, that couldn't be right. That couldn't be Caleb's future. Not possible. But Eli was already walking toward Daniel. Hey, Daniel, Eli said. Gentle, like always. Daniel looked up. His eyes were tired but clear. He smiled when he saw Eli. Hey, kid, you eat yet? Yeah, and I brought someone. Daniel looked at Caleb. Really looked. Recognition flickered across his face. Caleb Hargrove, Daniel said. Not a question, a statement. I saw the news. Your company tanked yesterday. You know who I am? Caleb asked. Everyone in tech knows who you are. Daniel gestured to the empty bench. Sit down. You look like you're about to pass out. Caleb sat. His mind was racing, spinning. This man was him, 2 years in the future. Same trajectory, same fall, same ending. I'm Daniel Chen, the man said. Former CEO of NeuralPath. We were valued at $400 million. Then the SEC came knocking. Insider trading charges, 18 months in federal prison. Did you do it? Caleb asked. Daniel laughed, bitter. Does it matter? I signed off on the trades. I benefited. I went to prison, guilty or not, and the result's the same. But you're out now, Caleb said. Desperate for hope, any hope. You served your time. You're out. Yeah, Daniel said. I'm out, and look where I am. Caleb looked. A courtyard behind a homeless shelter. Same place Caleb would be in 2 years. What happened? Caleb asked. After prison? Everything happened, Daniel said. And nothing. My wife divorced me while I was inside. Took everything the government didn't seize. My kids won't talk to me. My daughter changed her last name. My son tells people I'm dead. Each word was a knife. Because Caleb could see Vivian doing the same thing. I tried to get back into tech, Daniel continued. Sent out 500 resumes. Know how many responses I got? 3, all rejections. Felon, that's all anyone sees now. Not my degrees, not my experience. Just that word. Felon. So you gave up? Caleb asked. Couldn't keep the judgment out of his voice. Daniel's eyes hardened. You think I gave up? I worked construction, washed dishes, drove for Uber until they found out about my record and fired me. I applied for food stamps, for housing assistance, for anything, everything. And the system's designed to keep you out, Daniel said. Can't get housing without income. Can't get income without housing. Can't get a job with a record. Can't clear your record without money for lawyers. Round and round, forever. Caleb felt the walls closing in. There has to be a way. There is, Daniel said. For some people, the ones with family support, or connections, or luck. I had none of those, so I ended up here. How long have you been homeless? Caleb asked. 4 months, since my savings ran out. Spent everything on a tiny apartment in Oakland. Couldn't make rent. Got evicted. Now I'm here. Eli sat down between them, small body between two broken men. Daniel helps in the kitchen, Eli said. He's good at organizing things. Leftover CEO skills, Daniel said with a sad smile. At least I can manage a food line. Caleb's phone buzzed again. He ignored it. Couldn't ignore it. Checked. His lawyer. Where are you? You need to prep. Call me now. 75 minutes left. You're surrendering today, Daniel said. Statement, not question. In an hour, Caleb said. Scared? Terrified. Daniel nodded. You should be. Prison's hell. But it's not the worst part. What's the worst part? Caleb asked. Coming out, Daniel said. Because inside you know where you stand. You know the rules. You know it's temporary. But outside? Outside. Then you realize the punishment never ends. Society doesn't forgive, doesn't forget. You're marked forever. Caleb wanted to argue, wanted to say it would be different for him. He had connections, resources, plans. But looking at Daniel, Stanford grad, former CEO, $400 million, he knew it was a lie. Why are you telling me this? Caleb asked. Because Eli asked me to, Daniel said. Looked at the boy. He thinks you're different, that you can handle the truth and still choose better. Are you? Eli asked Caleb. Different? The question hung in the air. Was he different? Or was he just another rich guy who got caught? Another fraud heading to prison? Another man who'd end up exactly like Daniel? I don't know, Caleb said honestly. I want to be. But I don't know if wanting is enough. It's not, Daniel said bluntly. Wanting doesn't mean anything. Action does. Choice does. Every single day, you have to choose who you are. Inside prison, outside prison, every single day. Did you choose? Caleb asked. Not at first, Daniel admitted. First year out, I felt sorry for myself. Blamed everyone, my lawyers, my wife, the government, the system, everyone but me. What changed? Caleb asked. I met Eli, Daniel said simply. Eli looked down, embarrassed. Kid showed up at the shelter one night, Daniel continued. 7 years old, alone, helping people. I asked him why. Know what he said? Caleb shook his head. He said, because someone has to, and I can. Daniel's voice cracked slightly. 8 words. Changed everything. Because he was right. Someone has to help. And even broken, even homeless, even a felon, I can. Caleb looked at Eli, and this impossible child who walked through the city helping people, who asked billionaires if he could hug them, who saw broken men and gave them purpose. How? Caleb asked. How do I choose better? How do I not end up like... He stopped. I'm sorry, I didn't mean... Like me? Daniel finished. Don't apologize. I know what I am. But here's the thing, Caleb. I'm still choosing, every day. I help in the kitchen. I talk to people. I tell my story when it helps someone else. That's my choice. That's my action. From a shelter, Caleb said. Couldn't help it. From wherever I am, Daniel corrected. Location doesn't matter. Choice matters. Caleb's phone buzzed. 3rd time. His lawyer. If you're not here in 60 minutes, they'll issue a warrant. Call me. 60 minutes. I have to go, Caleb said. Stood up. His legs shook. Daniel stood too. extended his hand. "Good luck in there," Daniel said. "And Caleb? Don't waste the time. Figure out who you are, then be that person, no matter what comes after." They shook hands. Two men. Same path. Different choices still ahead. "Will you be here?" Caleb asked. "When I get out?" Daniel shrugged. "Maybe. Maybe not. Life's unstable out here. But Eli will know where to find me." Caleb looked at Eli. "Will you wait for me? 2 years? 5 years? However long?" Eli smiled. "I'll be around. Promise?" "Promise." Caleb knelt down, eye level with the boy who changed everything. "Thank you," he whispered. "For the hug, for the truth, for—" His voice broke. "For seeing me." Eli hugged him again, tight, real. "Choose better," Eli whispered. "Starting now." Caleb stood, looked at Daniel, at Eli, and at the courtyard behind a shelter where broken people tried to survive another day. This could be his future, or he could choose different. "I will," Caleb said. And he meant it. He walked out of the courtyard, into the alley, toward the street where his lawyer was waiting, toward the courthouse, toward prison, toward whatever came next. But different now. Changed. The courthouse steps felt like an execution platform. Caleb arrived at 7:53 a.m. 7 minutes early, cameras everywhere, reporters shouting questions. His lawyer, Marcus Webb, grabbed his arm and pulled him through the crowd. "Where the hell have you been?" Marcus hissed. "I've been calling for hours." "Walking," Caleb said. "Walking? You're about to go to federal prison and you were walking?" "Yes." Marcus stared at him. "Are you high? Did you take something? And your eyes look—" "Clear," Caleb finished. For the first time in years. They pushed through the courthouse doors. Security, metal detectors, long hallways that smelled like floor polish and fear. Marcus pulled him into a side room, shut the door. "Listen to me very carefully," Marcus said. "The prosecutor's offering a deal. Plead guilty to 2 counts instead of 7. 12 years instead of 18. You take it. Now. Today." 12 years, Caleb repeated. The number felt unreal. "It's the best we'll get," Marcus said. "If we go to trial, you'll lose. The evidence is overwhelming. The jury will hate you. You'll get 20 years minimum." Caleb thought about Daniel. 18 months, and he ended up homeless. What would 12 years do? "What if I allocute?" Caleb asked. "What?" "Allocution. I speak before sentencing, tell the truth, and take responsibility." Marcus laughed, sharp, humorless. "That's not how this works. You plead, you stay quiet, you let me handle—" "No," Caleb said. The word hung between them. "No?" Marcus repeated. "Caleb, I've been a federal defense attorney for 23 years. I know what I'm doing. You don't speak, you don't draw attention, you take the deal, and you disappear quietly." "I'm not disappearing quietly," Caleb said. "Then you're an idiot," Marcus snapped. "You want to make it worse? You want the judge to throw the book at you?" Maybe. Maybe Caleb did want that. Because anything less felt like running, like hiding, like the same person he'd always been. "I need to tell the truth," Caleb said. "The truth?" Marcus's voice dripped with sarcasm. "The truth is, you defrauded investors out of $600 million. The truth is, you lied to the SEC. The truth is, you're guilty." "That truth?" "Yes," Caleb said. "Exactly that truth." Marcus stared at him like he'd lost his mind. "You've been my client for 8 months. I've kept you out of jail this long through careful strategy. And now, 7 minutes before we walk into that courtroom, you want to blow it all up?" "I'm not blowing it up," Caleb said. "I'm owning it." "Same thing," Marcus said. Caleb, listen to me. I'm trying to save your life. 12 years, you'll be 55 when you get out. Still time to rebuild. But if you stand up there and confess everything, show emotion, give them ammunition, you'll die in prison. Die in prison. The words should have terrified Caleb. But all he could think about was Eli, Rosa, Daniel, Raymond, Jamie, and all the people who paid for their mistakes every single day with no lawyers, no deals, no second chances. I deserve to die in prison, Caleb said quietly. Marcus froze. What? For what I did. For who I was, I deserve it. Jesus Christ, Marcus muttered. Did you find religion? Is that what this is? Some jailhouse conversion? No, Caleb said. I found truth, and I'm going to tell it. A knock on the door. A bailiff stuck his head in. 5 minutes, counselor. Marcus waited until the door closed. Then he got very close to Caleb. Serious, almost desperate. Caleb, I'm begging you, as your lawyer, as someone who's trying to help you, don't do this. Take the deal. Serve your time. Come out alive, please. Caleb looked at Marcus. Really looked. Saw a man who believed in the system, in strategy, in minimizing damage. But the system was what let Caleb steal for years. Strategy was what let him lie. Minimizing damage was what got him here. I'm sorry, Caleb said. I know you're trying to help, but I can't hide anymore. Marcus stepped back. His face went cold. Professional. Fine, he said. Then I need you to sign this, acknowledging that you're going against counsel's advice. So when this blows up in your face, it's on you, not me. He shoved a paper at Caleb. A pen. Caleb signed it. Didn't even read it. Let's go, Marcus said. Open the door. They walked down the hallway, through double doors, into the courtroom. It was packed. Journalists, investors who lost money, former employees. Lillian sat in the back. She didn't look at him. Vivian wasn't there at all. The judge entered. Honorable Patricia Morrison, 60-something. Gray hair, hard eyes. All rise. Everyone stood, then sat. The prosecutor spoke first, outlined the charges, the fraud, the lies, the $600 million. Made Caleb sound like a monster. Maybe he was. Then Marcus stood, gave his prepared statement, asked for leniency, cited Caleb's lack of prior record, his contributions to technology, his family circumstances. All true, all meaningless. Judge Morrison looked at Caleb. Does the defendant wish to speak? Marcus touched Caleb's arm. Warning. Last chance to shut up. Caleb stood. Yes, Your Honor. The courtroom went silent. Mr. Hargrove, Judge Morrison said, you understand that anything you say can impact your sentence? Yes, Your Honor. Proceed. Caleb took a breath. His hands shook, but his voice was steady. I'm guilty, he said, of everything, every charge, every lie, every dollar I stole. I did it, knowingly, deliberately, for years. Marcus's head dropped into his hands. I told myself I was building something important, Caleb continued, that the ends justified the means, that everyone did it, that I was just playing the game better than others. Judge Morrison watched him, expression unreadable. But I was wrong, Caleb said. I wasn't building anything. I was stealing from people who trusted me, from employees who believed in me, from investors who gave me their money and their faith. His voice cracked. He pushed through it. Last night, I met a homeless boy named Eli, 8 years old. He asked if he could hug me, and in that moment I realized something. He had nothing. No home, no parents, no money, nothing. But he had more integrity, more compassion, on more humanity than I've had in my entire life. Someone in the gallery made a sound. Maybe a sob. Maybe disgust. I also met people who'd been where I am now, Caleb said, who went to prison, who paid their debt, who came out and found that society throws them away. Forever. No second chances, no forgiveness. Just permanent punishment. Mr. Hargrove, Judge Morrison interrupted. Is there a point to this? Yes, Your Honor. Caleb looked right at her. My point is that I deserve whatever sentence you give me. 12 years, 20 years, life. I deserve it. But the people I met last night, they deserved better. They deserved a society that gives second chances, that helps instead of punishes, that sees humans instead of felons. Judge Morrison leaned forward. Are you asking for leniency? No, Your Honor. Caleb said, I'm asking for justice, real justice, not just for me, for everyone. The courtroom erupted, reporters typing, people whispering. Marcus looked like he wanted to die. Judge Morrison banged her gavel. Order, order. Silence returned. Mr. Hargrove, she said slowly, in 28 years on the bench, I've never heard an allocution quite like that. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm not finished. She cut him off. Her voice was sharp, but her eyes were different, softer. Maybe. Sentencing will proceed as scheduled, 2 weeks from today. Until then, you'll remain free on bail. But, Mr. Hargrove? Yes, Your Honor. Use those 2 weeks wisely. She banged the gavel. Court adjourned. The video went viral in 3 hours. Someone recorded Caleb's speech in the courtroom, posted it on social media. By noon, 12 million views. By evening, 40 million. The headline, Billionaire breaks down, admits everything, demands justice for the homeless. Caleb sat in his empty Palo Alto house watching his phone explode. Thousands of comments, hundreds of messages, news outlets requesting interviews. His lawyer called. You're trending worldwide. What the hell did you do? I told the truth, Caleb said. The truth just made you famous again, Marcus said. But I don't know if that helps or hurts. The judge sees everything. This could backfire badly. Caleb didn't care about backfire, didn't care about strategy. He cared about 2 weeks, 14 days before sentencing, 14 days to do something that mattered. He called Eli, the number the boy had written on a napkin at St. Anthony's. Hello? A woman's voice answered. Older. Hi, I'm looking for Eli Navarro. This is Sister Maria from Our Lady of Guadalupe. Eli asked me to answer his calls. Who's calling? Caleb Hargrove. Pause. The billionaire? Not anymore, Caleb said. Can I speak with Eli? Another pause, then rustling, footsteps. Hello? Eli's voice, small but clear. Eli, it's Caleb. I saw the video, Eli said. You told the truth. I did, because of you. Not because of me, Eli said, because you chose to. Caleb's throat tightened. I have 2 weeks before sentencing. I want to use them. Help me. Help you how? Eli asked. Show me what to do, where to help, how to make a difference. Silence on the line. Then, meet me at St. Anthony's tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. I'll be there, Caleb said. He hung up, looked around his house. 8,000 square feet. Empty. Lillian took most of the furniture. Vivian's room was cleared out, nothing left but space. His phone rang again. Unknown number. Hello? Is this Caleb Hargrove? A man's voice, deep, rough. Yes. My name's Robert Chen, Daniel Chen's father. Caleb's heart stopped. Daniel's father? I saw your video, Robert said. You mentioned meeting people who went to prison. Was Daniel one of them? Yes, Caleb said carefully. We met at St. Anthony's. Silence. then a sound that might have been crying. "I haven't spoken to my son in 2 years," Robert said. "Not since he went to prison. I was ashamed. Told him he disgraced our family. Told him not to contact us." "Mr. Chen, I watched your video," Robert interrupted. "Watched you admit everything. Take responsibility. And I realized something. My son tried to call me 47 times from prison. 47 times. I never answered. Not once." "It's not too late," Caleb said. "Isn't it?" Robert's voice broke. "You said he's homeless. My son, Stanford graduate, brilliant mind, is homeless. Because I threw him away. He's still alive," Caleb said. "Still fighting, still helping people." "Where is he?" Robert asked, desperate now. "Please, tell me where he is." Caleb thought about Daniel in that courtyard. Proud despite everything, choosing to help despite having nothing. "St. Anthony's," Caleb said. "Tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Come with me." "You'd let me come with you?" "It's not about me," Caleb said. "It's about Daniel, and you, and fixing what's broken." Robert was quiet for a long moment. "I'll be there." He hung up. Caleb sat in the silence. His house felt like a tomb. He'd spent millions on it, filled it with expensive art and furniture, made it perfect. But it was never a home. His phone buzzed. A text from Vivian. "I saw the video." 3 words. "First contact in 2 weeks." Caleb's hands shook as he typed back. "Can we talk?" Dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. "Not yet, but I'm watching." "Not yet, but watching." It wasn't forgiveness, but it wasn't nothing. Caleb typed, "I love you. I'm sorry. I'll be better." Send. No response. He waited. 5 minutes. 10. 20. Nothing. But she'd seen it. That was something. That night, Caleb couldn't sleep. He walked through his empty house, ended up in his office. His computer still worked, email still accessible. 4,000 unread messages. He started reading, one by one. Most were angry, called him a fraud, a liar, a criminal. He hoped he rotted in prison. Fair, all fair. But some were different. "I lost money in your company. I'm furious. But your speech made me think about my brother. He went to prison 5 years ago. I haven't visited him once. Maybe I should. My daughter made a mistake, got arrested. I kicked her out. After watching your video, I called her. We talked for the first time in 3 years. Thank you. I was homeless for 6 years. People like you walked past me every day. But you stopped. You listened. That matters." Message after message. Stories of broken families, second chances, forgiveness, change. Caleb read until his eyes burned, until dawn light crept through the windows. He destroyed lives with his fraud, stolen millions, ruined families. But maybe, his truth was starting to heal something. At 5:30 a.m., Caleb got in his car and drove to St. Anthony's. The streets were empty, quiet. He arrived at 5:55 a.m. Robert Chen was already there, standing outside, expensive suit, gray hair, face tight with fear. "Mr. Chen?" Caleb said. "Call me Robert." They shook hands. I didn't sleep. I don't know what to say to him. I don't know if he'll even speak to me. "Just be honest," Caleb said. "That's all any of us can do." The line was forming, people gathering for breakfast. Caleb scanned the faces, looking for Daniel. There, in line, same spot as yesterday. "That's him," Robert whispered. His voice shook. "My son." Daniel hadn't seen them yet. Was talking to someone, smiling, helping. "What do I do?" Robert asked, tears in his eyes. "You walk up to him," Caleb said, "and you tell him the truth." Robert nodded. started walking, slow, like every step hurt. Caleb followed. They gave him space but stayed close. Daniel turned, saw Robert. His face went white. "Dad?" One word. Broken, shocked, painful. "Daniel," Robert said. Stopped 3 feet away. "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." Daniel just stared. "Why are you here?" "Because I was wrong," Robert said. "About everything. About you. About what matters. I threw you away when you needed me most. And I'll regret that for the rest of my life." Daniel's eyes filled with tears. "You didn't answer my calls. Any of them. I know." Robert was crying now too. "I was ashamed, scared, stupid. I failed you, but I'm here now. If you'll let me. If you can forgive me." Silence. The line moved around them. People watched. Respectful. Quiet. Then Daniel stepped forward and hugged his father. Both men broke, sobbing, holding each other. Caleb watched, in tears streaming down his own face. This was what mattered. Not money, not empires, not success. Connection, truth, forgiveness, love. Eli appeared next to Caleb. "You did that." "No," Caleb said. "You did that. You showed me what matters." Eli smiled. "Now what?" Caleb looked at the line, at the shelter, at the people waiting for a meal and a moment of dignity. "Now we help," Caleb said. "However we can, for the next 2 weeks, and then you go to prison." Eli finished. "Yes. But you'll come back out," Eli said. "And you'll keep helping, right?" Caleb knelt down, eye level with this impossible child. "I promise," he said. "No matter what, I promise." Eli hugged him, quick, real. "Good," Eli said, "because the world needs people who keep promises." The doors opened, the line moved forward, and Caleb walked in, the ready to help, ready to change, ready to be the person he should have been all along. 13 days later, Caleb owned nothing. He'd sold it all. The house, the cars, the watches, the art, everything. $7.3 million. After taxes and legal fees. Every penny going to 3 places. Restitution for defrauded investors, homeless services across San Francisco, and a trust fund for programs helping formerly incarcerated people reintegrate. His lawyer thought he was insane. His ex-wife's lawyer called it a publicity stunt. The media called it redemption theater. Caleb called it the bare minimum. He spent those 13 days living in a studio apartment in the Tenderloin. 600 square feet. Shared bathroom down the hall. Same building where Jamie, the pregnant teenager from St. Anthony's, was staying. Every morning at 6, he volunteered at the shelter. Served food, cleaned tables, listened to stories. Every afternoon, he visited organizations helping homeless families. Asked what they needed. Wrote checks. Made calls. Used his name while he still could. Every evening, he sat with Eli. Learned the routes, the shelters, the people, the invisible city within the city. On day 13, Vivian called. "Dad?" One word. But it was everything. "Viv," Caleb breathed. "Hi. God, it's good to hear your voice." "I'm coming to the sentencing tomorrow," she said. Voice tight. Controlled. "I need to see this through." "You don't have to." "Yes, I do." She paused. "I saw what you've been doing. The donations. The volunteering. Everyone's talking about it. I'm not doing it for attention." Caleb said quickly. "But I'm doing it because you should have been doing it all along," Vivian finished. "I know, Dad. I know." Silence stretched between them. 16 years of history, 2 weeks of change, mountains of hurt. "I'm still angry," Vivian said finally. "At you, at what you did, at how you lied to all of us." "You should be," Caleb said. "I lied, I stole, I failed you, I failed everyone." "But I watched your video," Vivian continued. like 50 times. And I kept thinking, that's not the dad I knew. That person being honest and real and vulnerable. I never met him before. Caleb's eyes burned. Because I never let you meet him. I was too busy being the billionaire, the titan, the fake. Are you different now? Vivian asked. Really different? Or is this just because you got caught? The same question Rosa asked. Mibran, the same question he'd asked himself every night. Both, Caleb said honestly. I'm different because I got caught, because I lost everything, because a homeless kid asked if he could hug me and it broke me open. I wish I could say I would have changed anyway, but I don't know if that's true. At least you're honest, Vivian said. It's all I have left. Another pause, then, I'll see you tomorrow, Dad. Vivian, wait. Yeah? I love you, and I'm sorry. And whatever happens tomorrow, I'm going to spend the rest of my life being someone you can be proud of. Her voice cracked. Don't make promises you can't keep. I'm not, Caleb said. I swear I'm not. She hung up. Caleb sat in his tiny apartment, staring at his phone. Tomorrow, sentencing, the end of everything. Or the beginning. A knock on the door. He opened it. Eli stood there with Sister Maria. We wanted to check on you, Eli said, before tomorrow. Caleb let them in. Sister Maria looked around the sparse room. Single mattress on the floor, 2 boxes of clothes, nothing else. You really sold everything, she said. Everything, Caleb confirmed. How does it feel? She asked. Caleb thought about it, really thought. Lighter, he said finally. All that stuff was so heavy. I just didn't know it until it was gone. Eli sat on the floor, cross-legged. What do you think the judge will say? I don't know, Caleb said. Marcus thinks 15 years, maybe more after my speech. Is that fair? Eli asked. Yes, Caleb said. Probably more than fair. What about your daughter? Sister Maria asked gently. Will she be there? She said yes, Caleb said. No, but I'll believe it when I see it. She'll be there, Eli said with certainty. I can tell. How? Caleb asked. Because she called. She didn't have to call, but she did. That means something. Smart kid. Too smart. What will you do? Caleb asked Eli. After tomorrow? After I'm gone? Eli shrugged. Same thing I always do. Help people. Survive. Wait. Wait for what? For you to come back, Eli said simply. You promised, so I'll wait. Caleb's throat closed. This child had nothing. No family, no home, no certainty about anything. But he believed in promises. Eli, Caleb said carefully, I could be gone 10 years, 15 years. You'll be grown by then. You'll have your own life. You don't have to. I know I don't have to. Eli interrupted. I want to. Because you kept your promise these 2 weeks. You helped. You changed. You chose better. So I believe you'll keep doing it. Sister Maria put her hand on Eli's shoulder. We both believe it. Why? Caleb asked, desperate to understand. Why do you believe in me? I'm a fraud, a criminal. I stole millions because everyone deserves a second chance, Sister Maria said firmly. Everyone. That's what we believe at Our Lady of Guadalupe. That's what I teach these children, that mistakes don't define you. Choices do. What if I mess up again? Caleb asked. What if I get out and I can't find work and I end up like Daniel and I fail? Then you'll still be choosing, Eli said. That's what matters. Not whether it's easy, whether you keep choosing. A phone buzzed. Sister Maria checked hers. We need to go. Evening mass in 20 minutes. She stood. Eli stood. We'll pray for you tomorrow, Sister Maria said. Whatever happens. Thank you, Caleb said. Eli hugged him, held on tight. See you on the other side. The other side? Caleb asked. Of tomorrow, Eli clarified. After sentencing, before they take you, we'll be there. You don't have to. We'll be there, Eli repeated, firm, final. They left. Caleb was alone again. He lay down on his mattress, stared at the ceiling, water-stained, cracked, real. His phone buzzed, a text from Daniel. My dad and I had dinner tonight. First time in 3 years. Thank you. Whatever happens tomorrow, you already changed lives, including mine. Caleb stared at the message, read it again, again. He'd destroyed so much, stolen so much, hurt so many people. But maybe, just maybe, he was starting to build something real. Not an empire, not wealth, not power. Connection, redemption, purpose. He set his alarm for 5 a.m. tomorrow, sentencing at 10 a.m. He'd volunteer one last time at St. Anthony's, serve one last breakfast, see one last sunrise as a free man, then face whatever came. But different now. Changed. Real. He closed his eyes. Tomorrow would come whether he was ready or not. But tonight, for the first time in 43 years, Caleb Hargrove slept with a clear conscience. And that was worth more than $2 billion ever was. Sleep came easy. Dreams came peaceful. Morning would bring justice, but it would also bring hope. And right now, hope was everything. Judge Morrison took 14 minutes to destroy him. The courtroom was silent, every seat filled. Cameras banned, but journalists packed the gallery, taking notes, recording history. Vivian sat in the second row. She'd actually come. Caleb saw her when the bailiff brought him in. Their eyes met. She didn't smile, but she nodded. That nod meant everything. Eli and Sister Maria sat in the back, Daniel and Robert Chen beside them. Rosa wasn't there. Caleb had checked the shelter that morning. She'd passed away 3 days ago. Pneumonia. Died in a hospital bed, finally getting the care she needed. Daniel said she'd been smiling at the end. Marcus sat at the defense table. Resigned. Defeated. He'd done his job. Now it was out of his hands. The prosecutor had recommended 18 years, maximum sentence, called Caleb a menace, a manipulator. Said his recent charity was calculated theater designed to influence the court. Marcus countered with 12 years, cited Caleb's cooperation, his restitution efforts, his genuine remorse. Then Judge Morrison spoke. Mr. Hargrove, please stand. Caleb stood. His legs were steady, his mind clear. I've been on this bench for 28 years, Judge Morrison began. I've sentenced hundreds of white-collar criminals, CEOs, CFOs, bankers, lawyers, people who stole millions and destroyed lives while wearing expensive suits and claiming they were just doing business. Caleb's heart pounded. Most of them show no remorse, she continued. They hire expensive lawyers. They minimize. They justify. They blame the system. They blame their employees. They blame everyone but themselves. She looked directly at Caleb. You did something different. You admitted everything. You took responsibility. You liquidated your assets. You've spent 2 weeks trying to repair damage that can never fully be repaired. Hope flickered in Caleb's chest. Maybe. But that doesn't erase what you did, Judge Morrison said. Her voice hardened. You stole $600 million. You lied to federal investigators. You destroyed retirement accounts. You cost people their savings, their futures, their trust. The hope died. The law requires punishment, Judge Morrison continued, not just for you, but as a message that fraud has consequences, that wealthy criminals don't get preferential treatment, that justice applies to everyone. She paused, let the words sink in. However, she said slowly, the law also allows for consideration of mitigating factors, your cooperation, your restitution, your genuine attempts at redemption. Caleb held his breath. Therefore, Judge Morrison said, I sentence you to 8 years in federal prison, followed by 3 years supervised release. You'll be eligible for parole after serving 2/3 of your sentence, roughly 5.5 years. 8 years, not 12, not 18. 8. Caleb's knees almost buckled. Additionally, Judge Morrison continued, I'm recommending you be placed in a minimum security facility where you can participate in educational programs. And I'm requiring, as a condition of your eventual release, that you complete 1,000 hours of community service focused on helping formerly incarcerated individuals reintegrate into society. She banged her gavel. Sentencing complete. Bailiff, take the defendant into custody. The courtroom erupted. Journalists rushing out to file stories, people talking, crying. Caleb turned to find Vivian. She was standing, tears streaming down her face. I love you, Dad, she mouthed. I love you too, Caleb mouthed back. Then the bailiff was there. Handcuffs, cold metal against his wrists. Wait, Caleb said. Can I say goodbye? The bailiff looked at Judge Morrison. She nodded. 2 minutes. Marcus came first, shook Caleb's cuffed hands. You got lucky. 8 years is a gift. I know, Caleb said. Thank you. For everything. Marcus nodded, walked away. Then Vivian pushed through, threw her arms around Caleb despite the handcuffs. I'm so sorry, Caleb whispered into her hair. For everything. For failing you. For... Stop, Vivian said, her voice muffled against his shoulder. Just stop. You're doing better. That's what matters. Keep doing better. I will, Caleb promised. Every single day, I promise. She pulled back, wiped her eyes. I'll write to you every week. I promise too. You don't have to. I want to, Vivian said firmly. You're my dad, and I'm not giving up on you. The bailiff touched Caleb's arm. Time's up. Wait, a small voice said. Eli. Pushing through the crowd, Sister Maria right behind him. Please, Eli said to the bailiff. Just 30 seconds. The bailiff sighed, nodded. Eli stood in front of Caleb. Small, thin, eyes too old for 8 years. You did good, Eli said simply. I'm going to prison for 8 years, Caleb said. How is that good? Because you told the truth, Eli said. Because you chose better. Because you're not running. Caleb knelt down, eye level, handcuffs jangling. Thank you, Caleb whispered. For everything. For the hug. For showing me what matters. For believing in me. I'll keep believing, Eli said, until you come back. That's a long time, Caleb said. I know, Eli said. But I'll wait, and I'll keep helping people. And when you get out, we'll help them together. Tears ran down Caleb's face. He didn't hide them, didn't wipe them away. Deal, he said. Eli hugged him, careful around the handcuffs, tight and real. Then Sister Maria stepped forward, made the sign of the cross over Caleb. Vaya con Dios, she said softly. Go with God, and come back better. I will, Caleb said. I promise. Daniel appeared, Robert beside him. You gave me my son back, Robert said, his voice thick with emotion. Whatever you need, whenever you get out, I'll be there. Thank you, Caleb said. Daniel shook his cuffed hands. 5.5 years if you get parole. I'll wait. We'll all wait. The bailiff pulled Caleb toward the door. Time was up. Means no more delays. Caleb looked back one last time. Vivian, Eli, Sister Maria, Daniel, Robert, all watching, all there, all believing he could be better. He walked through the door, down a hallway, into a holding cell. The door clanged shut. He was alone, but not really alone, because he carried them with him, their belief, their faith, their hope. 8 years. It sounded like forever, but it wasn't forever. It was temporary. A pause, a chance to think, to learn, to become who he should have been all along. He sat on the metal bench, hands still cuffed, heart still beating. In 2 hours, they'd transfer him to federal prison, process him, strip him of his name, and give him a number. But they couldn't strip him of his choice. Every day, he'd choose better. Every day, he'd remember Eli's question, "Can I hug you?" Every day, he'd remember that true wealth wasn't measured in dollars. It was measured in connection, in purpose, in being awake to what's real. Rosa died helping others. Daniel found his father again. Vivian forgave him. Eli kept believing. And Caleb? Caleb Hargrove, former billionaire, convicted felon, broken man, was finally becoming the person he was always meant to be. Not because he wanted to, because he had to. Because anything less was wasting the gift of that hug. That one simple moment on a rainy San Francisco street when a homeless boy saw a crying billionaire and asked the most important question anyone had ever asked him. "Can I hug you?" Yes. Yes, you can. And in that hug, everything changed. The door opened. 2 guards entered. "Time to go, Hargrove." Caleb stood, walked forward, toward prison, toward punishment, toward redemption, and toward whatever came next. But different now. Changed. Real. And that was all that mattered. The door closed behind him. One chapter ending, another beginning. And somewhere in San Francisco, a small boy with 2 old eyes smiled. Because he knew the truth. People can change. Even billionaires, even criminals, even broken men who'd lost everything. They can all choose better. Starting with one hug, one moment, one choice, and Caleb Hargrove chose. Every single day, for the rest of his life. 5 years and 7 months later, the prison gates opened. Caleb walked out at 6:47 a.m., March 15th. Early release for good behavior. He was 48 years old, gray at the temples, thinner, harder, different. The California sun hit his face. Free air filled his lungs. He'd survived. No, more than survived. He'd transformed. Inside, he'd earned his GED teaching certification, taught 200 inmates how to read, how to write, how to believe they were more than their mistakes. He'd mediated conflicts, counseled young men heading down the same path he'd walked. He'd been stabbed once, a fight he didn't start, but ended by walking away. Spent 2 weeks in the infirmary. Came out more committed than ever. Every week, letters arrived. Vivian wrote about college, about her boyfriend, about forgiveness being a process, not an event. Sister Maria sent prayers and updates about the shelter. Daniel wrote about his new job, nonprofit work helping former inmates find housing. Robert Chen funded the organization, and Eli wrote every single week, never missed one. Told stories about the people he helped, the routes he walked, the lives he touched. Now 13 years old, still homeless, still helping, still waiting. Caleb scanned the parking lot, looking for Dad. Vivian ran toward him. 21 now, beautiful, strong. She crashed into him, hugged him so hard his ribs hurt. "You're here," Caleb whispered, voice rough from emotion. "You're really here." "Of course I'm here," Vivian said. Pulled back, studied his face. "You look different." "I am different," Caleb said. "Good different. Better different." Caleb said. I hope. The car pulled up. Daniel got out, Robert behind him. Welcome back, Daniel said, extended his hand. Caleb shook it, then pulled Daniel into a hug. Thank you, Caleb said, for writing, for believing, for showing me it was possible. You showed yourself, Daniel said. I just watched. Robert handed Caleb a phone. New number, clean slate. We set up a few things for you. Things? Caleb asked. Job interview tomorrow, Robert said, at our nonprofit, if you want it. Helping people coming out of prison transition back to society. Pay isn't great, but the work matters. Caleb's eyes burned. I want it. God, I want it. Then it's yours, Robert said. A second car pulled up. Sister Maria got out. And then Eli, taller now, teenager, still thin, still those two old eyes, but smiling, actually smiling. Caleb walked toward him. Slow, like if he moved too fast, this would all disappear. You waited, Caleb said. I promised, Eli said simply. They stood there, man and boy, 5.5 years apart, but no distance at all. Can I hug you? Eli asked. The same question, the same words, the question that changed everything. Yes, Caleb whispered. Always yes. They hugged. Caleb broke. Completely broke. Sobbed into this kid's shoulder. All the pain, the fear, the shame, the hope. Everything poured out. You did it, Eli whispered. You chose better. Every single day. You did it. When they pulled apart, everyone was crying. Vivian, Sister Maria, Daniel, even Robert. What now? Caleb asked, looking at all of them, his family, not by blood, by choice. Now we help, Eli said. Pulled out his map, the same hand-drawn map from 5 years ago. More worn now, more markings, more routes. St. Anthony's serves breakfast in an hour. We should go. Together? Caleb asked. Together, Eli confirmed. They piled into the cars, drove toward San Francisco. The city sparkled in the morning light. Changed, but still familiar, still home. At St. Anthony's, the line was already forming. Same faces, different faces, on same struggle. Caleb walked to the back of the line, Vivian beside him, Eli on his other side, Daniel and Robert behind them. Sister Maria led them in a quick prayer. The doors opened. They filed in, got trays, oatmeal, banana, coffee. Sat at the long tables surrounded by people who knew what it meant to lose everything, to fight for survival, to choose dignity when the world said you had none. A woman sat across from Caleb, older, tired eyes. You look familiar, she said. Maybe, Caleb said. I used to volunteer here 5 years ago. Before you went away? She asked. Yes, she studied him. You're that billionaire, the one who gave everything away, who told the truth. That's me, Caleb said. Did it help? She asked. Prison. Did it make you better? Caleb thought about it. Really thought. Yes, he said. But not because prison is good. It's not. It's hell. But because I chose to use the time, to learn, to change, to become someone worth becoming. The woman nodded slowly. My son's inside. 3 more years. I'm scared he'll come out worse. What's his name? Caleb asked. Marcus. Tell Marcus, Caleb said carefully, that every day is a choice, inside or outside, prison or free. Every single day, he can choose who he wants to be. And if he chooses better, consistently, honestly, painfully, he'll come out stronger than he went in. The woman's eyes filled with tears. You really believe that? I know that, Caleb said, because I lived it. She reached across the table, squeezed his hand. Thank you. After breakfast, they walked. Eli led them on his route, the shelters, the food banks, the invisible city within the city. At each stop, Caleb talked to people, listened to stories, offered what he could, sometimes money, sometimes advice, sometimes just presence. By evening, they ended up back at the spot where it all began. The curb in downtown San Francisco where a crying billionaire met a homeless boy. They sat there, all of them, watching the city move around them. "You know what's crazy?" Vivian said. "5 years ago, I hated you. Completely hated you. But now," she leaned her head on Caleb's shoulder, "now I'm proud of you." "I don't deserve that," Caleb said. "Yes, you do," Vivian said, "because you earned it, the hard way, the real way." Eli pulled out his map, unfolded it carefully. "I want to show you something," Eli said, pointed to new markings, red stars, dozens of them. "These are programs that started because of your donations. Shelters, job training, then mental health services. They're helping thousands of people." "That's your legacy," Daniel added. "Not the billions you made. This, real impact, real change." Caleb looked at the map, at the red stars spreading across San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, Miami, cities with high purchasing power that could afford to help. That were starting to help. "This is just the beginning," Caleb said. "There's so much more to do." "Then let's do it," Eli said. "Together." The sun set over San Francisco. The fog rolled in. The city transformed into something beautiful and broken and hopeful all at once. Caleb thought about the man he used to be. The billionaire in the tailored suit, the fraud, the liar, the fake. That man was dead. Buried in 5 years of prison and transformation and choosing better every single day. And this man, this new Caleb, was real. Flawed, broken, but honest. Present, awake. "Can I ask you something?" Caleb said to Eli. "Anything." "Why did you ask to hug me that night? Really? Why?" Eli was quiet for a moment. Then, "Because you looked like you needed it, and because I could give it, that's all. Nothing more complicated than that. Simple. Perfect, true." "That hug saved my life," Caleb said. "No," Eli corrected. "You saved your life. The hug just reminded you that you could." They sat in silence as night fell. The city lights flickered on. People walked past. Some looked. Most didn't. Just another group of people on a curb. Nothing special. Nothing remarkable. Except everything was remarkable. Everything was special. Because true wealth wasn't about bank accounts or empires or power. It was about this: connection, purpose, being awake to what's real, choosing better every single day. Caleb Hargrove lost $2 billion, lost his company, lost his marriage, lost 5.5 years to prison. But he gained everything that mattered: family, forgiveness, purpose, truth, and a promise to an 8-year-old homeless boy who asked if he could give a hug, a promise kept, a life changed, a legacy built, not in boardrooms or headlines or bank accounts, but in hearts, in choices, in the quiet moments between broken people who chose to help each other survive another day. "Ready to go?" Sister Maria asked. "Where?" Caleb asked. "Home," she said. Home. Caleb didn't have a house, didn't have possessions, didn't have wealth. But looking around at these people, his people, he realized he had everything. "Yeah," Caleb said. Stood up, offered his hand to Eli, pulled him to his feet. "Let's go home." They walked away together. Into the San Francisco night. Into whatever came next. Into a future built on truth and compassion and second chances. Into a life that mattered. And somewhere above them, the stars shone bright. Witnessing, remembering, celebrating. One hug, one choice, one life transformed. Forever. If this story moved you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. I'll see you in the next story.